Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you, Dr. Tanya Glenn. How about one more round of applause for her? All right, we won't ask how come there's any firefighters because they didn't start on time, right? We'll just leave that at that. Hey, looking in the audience, how many first-timers are out there? How many of you are first time here? Raise your hand high. All right. How many volunteer agencies are here? Okay, good. How many combination agencies are here? Combination is a mix between career and volunteer. Got a couple out there. And how many career agencies are here? All right, it's really strong mix between career and volunteer. We're glad to have all of you, regardless of which kind of agency you work for. We're going to take just a few minutes and introduce some of our dignitaries. We'll invite Ed Temerowski up here. Ed is the chief with Wickenburg, and he's also the president of the Arizona State Training Committee. Chief Temerowski.
I think the term's chairman, but I understand the White Mountains and the Show Low area, they probably only educate you on one word, so I get that. Am I correct, Mr. Tenney? Okay. Clay loves me, he just hasn't realized it yet. Thank you all. So we have 734 attendees here today, so I think our fire school is going to be really nice. I want to thank all the students for being here, the departments that host and support our firefighters this week and year-round. You, the firefighters, the fire departments, the chiefs, and all the agencies that put this together and help coordinate this effort. You truly do make, I believe, the Arizona Fire Service a hallmark for training. I mean, this is an event that it's once a year, it's statewide, and it brings everybody together for 4 or 5 days, and I think it's just a tremendous effort on all of us to be here, and thank you for that, and give yourselves accolades and pat yourselves on the back for taking the time to come down here. It's really great stuff. I just got to do a few thank yous, and I will get off the stage. The Mesa Marriott and their staff, and I can't see anything up here at all, so I know they're in I talked to them earlier. They do a huge amount of work year-round. They work with Bob Hansen, getting the convention center and getting the hotel set up, and they're a tremendous support, and they add so much value to the school, so I just want to recognize them personally, and I know you're over there somewhere, so if the staff in the Mesa Marriott can stand up and please be recognized at this time. And they actually really enjoy having us here, which, by Saturday night, I don't know why they enjoy having us here sometimes, but they truly do enjoy having us here, so that's good stuff. Most importantly, I want to take a minute to introduce and recognize the Arizona Fire Training Committee, the Executive Board, which is my command staff and my command and general staff team, and the Arizona for Fire Service Excellence employees. There's 2 employees that work for the Arizona Center for Fire Service Excellence. The members of this team work year-round preparing for this week to provide you all the best experience and education we can offer. Also, starting today, we are beginning to work on next year's 50th Annual Fire School. So it's every day we're doing something, and we're preparing for the next day, and now we're preparing for the next school. These are dedicated team members who volunteer hundreds of hours to make this week happen and keep the Center for Fire Service Excellence running year-round. to ensure we educate and train to the best standard, and I believe resulting in some of the best trained firefighters in Arizona and the country. With that being stated, I would like all members of the Arizona State Fire Training Committee and the Center for Fire Service Excellence employees, please stand and be recognized. Now we'll close it up because Clay wants me off the stage. Thank you all. Be safe, learn, make memories, and make Arizona proud.
Thank you, President Tomorowski. We now have Director David Tenney from DFFM, which is the Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management. We're glad to have Director Tenney here. It's always a pleasure to have somebody from the state here to visit with us.
Thank you, Clay. I've known Clay for a long time. Clay and I went to high school together in Snowflake. And so, yeah, Chief Tomorowski, they educated us really, really good up there. When Clay contacted me a couple of months ago and asked if I would be available to speak for a few minutes today, I mentioned to him that, yeah, you know, I'm actually headed out of town that morning to go elk hunting with a couple of my sons up in the White Mountains up near Heber. But I'll be glad to do that, and I'm on my way out of town. And it's actually fitting that we're doing this elk hunt the same day that well, we start tomorrow, but going up there to get ready tonight. Because one of my favorite experiences in high school with Clay was on an elk hunt together. And we were out near Heber, which is where I was raised. He's from Taylor, Snowflake area. And we were out elk hunting, and all of a sudden he stops me. And he says, "Wait a second." And I said, "What?" And he pointed to the ground. He says, "Look." He says, "I think that's bear poop." And I said, "You think so?" He says, "Yeah, it looks like bear poop." I said, "Okay. So I guess if you're sure." He says, "Well, just a second." And he bends down and he grabs it. And he kind of feels it. And he says, "Yeah, it feels like bear poop too." And I said, "All right, probably bear poop." He said, "Well, just a minute. And he puts it up here. He said, "Yeah, it smells like bear poop too." And I said, "Well, probably pretty good indicator." And he says, "Just 1 minute." And he kind of bites on it a little bit, and he says, "Yeah, it tastes like bear poop too." And I said, "Well, Clay, you know, if it looks like bear poop and it feels like bear poop and it smells like bear poop and it tastes like bear poop, I'm pretty sure that's bear poop." And he says, "Yeah, it's bear poop. Good thing we didn't step in it." Anyway, as you can tell, Clay kind of stepped in it when he asked me to speak today. But I am grateful for the opportunity. I do want to thank Chief Tomorowski and the members of the Executive Board of the Arizona Fire Training Committee, the Arizona Center for Fire Service Excellence, for all the Arizona fire departments and districts, the volunteers, instructors, and participants, for making 49 years of fire service training and education at the annual State Fire School a reality. Please give them all another round of applause. I've been in this position since 2019, late 2018. So this first time I was invited here was 2019, and I always enjoy coming here to this. It's always exciting to see how many first-timers are here as they're embarking upon their careers. The people who live and recreate in Arizona are fortunate to have you all to serve and protect them and their property. We depend on all of you, so please take full advantage of this training. Your health and safety are important to us, and so please take the idea that everyone goes home to heart. Our State Fire Management Officer, John Truitt, tells me that we burned almost 120,000 acres this year in our fire season. And it was you, our cooperators, Arizona's local fire departments and districts. You're our boots on the ground. It was you that helped us keep that number low. We thank you for that. While we didn't burn a record number of acres, it was still a significant fire year with conditions on the ground causing some of the most extreme fire behavior that we have seen. Since taking office in 2015, Governor Ducey and the legislature have increased Arizona's ability to suppress and prevent wildfire, and the state's budgets for the last couple of years have continued to build on that foundation. We appreciate that at DFFM. Since fiscal year 2022, Governor Ducey and the legislature have increased DFFM's employee count from 88 to over 200 people, included in those numbers an additional 8 assistant fire management officers for our fire shop and a variety of other positions for the Healthy Forest Initiative, which is a program that will use inmate labor and additional contracting capacity to help the state of Arizona to treat 20,000 acres a year to of wildlands to lessen the impact of wildfire on our communities. The Healthy Forest Initiative also includes $5 million annually for grants to organizations like yours who conduct fuel treatment projects, and we thank you all for the work you do there. When I was appointed in 2018, the state fire marshal was greatly understaffed with only 11 inspectors. It was difficult for them to import all of the life safety duties required of that office. I'm pleased to tell you today that thanks to Governor Ducey and the legislature, the Office of the State Fire Marshal has 19 inspectors today and another half-time, part-time inspector as well. In other state Office of Fire Marshal news, thanks to our State Fire Marshal, Cassie Peters, the state has also adopted the NFPA 2018 Fire Code. So thank you, Cassie, for your leadership there. In addition to monies in our regular budget, the governor and the legislature also came together in a special session last year to provide $75 million for wildfire suppression, post-fire flood mitigation, and to address infrastructure lost to wildfire. As of today, we've been able to distribute nearly $20 million of those dollars to county emergency managers for post-fire flood mitigation and related efforts, in addition to the millions of dollars we spent fighting fires the last couple of fire seasons. The monies made available through the special session also help DFM to replace aging crew buggies, our entire radio system, and the related infrastructure to our radio systems. We continue at DFFM to refine the way that we do business so that we can serve you and the people of Arizona. Now, while DFFM has experienced some long overdue growth over the past couple of years, we do not aspire to be someone like CAL FIRE. DFFM is a fire management agency, and our heavy lifting is done by you, Arizona's fire departments and districts. We call you our cooperators, and your safety and training is of the utmost importance to us. You are our boots on the ground. You're the ones that get it done for us. And that's why we appreciate you and the relationship that we have with you. So let's get all that we can out of this year's fire school to make Arizona an even safer place to live and recreate. Thank you all for allowing me to be here.
Thanks, brother. So, just to give you a little bit of a backstory, Director Teddy was an older classman when I was in high school, which means that he always knew poop, even back then. And when I was trying to figure out what picture I needed to put up here, he was a state champion wrestler. And I could only find a picture of a singlet, and I really didn't think you'd want to see that. For those of you who don't know what a singlet is, that's what the wrestlers wear. I know it's a bad joke. So, we have been trying to get the Mesa mayor here, but apparently he's hung up in an executive session for a little bit. So, in the interim, we're going to invite Chief Mary Camelli up from Mesa Fire.
First, I want to say I'm a very poor replacement for Mayor John Giles. He's amazing. He's very, very supportive, but I'm extremely happy to step in the meantime. First, I want to welcome everybody to Mesa. We are happy to have you here. We've hosted the State Fire School for over 20 years. It's a privilege for us to do this. And I want to thank, again, the training committee for doing this, because it just shows how important this is for our state. First, I want to address what Dr. Tanya was saying about getting help when we need it. I have to tell you that all the organizations in the state, most departments have peer support, and we have resources to get you help. It's there for you. There is no shame in getting help. We want you to have successful careers while you're working and in retirement. If we're better and solid emotionally, mentally, and physically, we provide a better service to our community. So please know that these resources out there are for you, and please utilize them. There is no shame in using them. If I could have fire chiefs that are in the audience, retired and current, please stand. Okay. Thank you. Keep standing. Assistant chiefs, please stand. Any assistant chiefs, retired or current? Thank you. Deputy chiefs, battalion chiefs, division chiefs, please stand. Thank you. I want everyone that's here attending for your first time or another time, if you've been here several times, this is leadership that's running the fire service, that has been running the fire service in Arizona. And this, for them to be here, tells you how important this training is. And I thank you all for your leadership, leading the fire service to the next level, and really helping Arizona to get where we need to be. So a round of applause for all these chief officers that are in the room leading the way. Thank you all so much, so much. And for those that are here to attend classes, please take away every bit of information you possibly can. Our whole job out here in the fire service is to serve. That is our total mission, whether it's serious calls, minor calls, the public calls us. We are their lifeline for anything outside of, if it's a crime happening, we'll show up to help on the medical side of that, but when they don't know how to call, they call us. And so it's a point of pride, a point of respect, that we do the very, very best we can every time we serve. Even on the most minute calls where you think they're not hurt that bad, putting somebody back in bed, every one of those calls speaks volumes to how the community looks at us and our profession. And when one of us does good, we all do good in terms of how the public sees us. So remember that you represent our profession, we represent each other every day on every call. And so we want to do our very best and give them the excellence that we know we have in us. Please, in addition to the training that you're going to learn this weekend and that you're going to be experiencing, network. Networking in our state and networking with each other, we learn so much from one another as we go for this profession. We are continuing to learn from one another, and we all have folks out there that help us through, that are mentors for us, and we have to utilize those resources. It reminds me of a story, Charles Plumb. How many of you have heard the story of Charles Plumb? He was a fighter pilot in Vietnam, and he had many, many successful missions. And one day he was shot down. He was shot down in enemy territory, and he became a prisoner of war, and he was a prisoner of war for 5 years. When he came out, he was speaking all over the world about his experience being a prisoner of war. And one day he was sitting down eating dinner with his wife at a restaurant, and someone walked up to him and said, "You're Charles Plumb. Are you Charles Plumb?" He says, "Yes, I am." He goes, "You were shot down at this time, this day, and you deployed your parachute, you landed safely, and you landed in enemy territory." And Charles Plumb stands up and says, "Yes, that's me." And he looks at Charles Plumb and he said, "I packed your parachute." Charles Plumb looked at him, shook his hand, and said, "Thank you for saving my life." He said, "Never once did I ever think about the person who packed my parachute." He said, "Pilots didn't really talk to the parachute packers and vice versa." There's always somebody out there packing your parachute. Remember those folks that are behind you, pushing you, mentoring you, and you also are packing people's parachutes. So as you're going through the training, as you're going through the network, remember there's people out there supporting you, wanting you to do good, and remember it's making Arizona a better fire service for all of us. So thank you for being here. Enjoy the training and have fun doing it.
All right, next we're going to hear from the PFFA. This is Local 3066. It's Captain Ben Roche, and he's with the Central Arizona Fire and Medical Authority.
Those lights are bright, holy cow. They warned me, but I don't think you can prepare for stand here. It's like looking into the sun right now. So, well, good morning. Thank you for having me. This is a privilege to be here. Just, truly honored to be part of this group. And, unfortunately, our President Jeffries from the PFFA is not able to attend this morning and welcome you in person. So in his place, on behalf of the professional firefighters of Arizona, I welcome you to Arizona Fire School. This school is an amazing resource and provides excellent training for all of Arizona Fire Service. I just want to start by thanking you for taking time out of your lives to come here and be part of this great training. Our professional firefighters of Arizona represents almost 9,000 firefighters in the state of Arizona. From the urban city centers to the rural outlying areas, our goal is to advance firefighter issues for the state. And we have a great team at the PFFA working tirelessly for you. Also, we've developed relationships with our partners such as this group, the Arizona Fire Chiefs Association, the Arizona Fire Districts Association, Metro Fire Chiefs Associations, where we work collaboratively. And really, these relationships and partners that we use at the state level, they're just an extension of the labor management process that you know in your local jurisdictions. And at the front end of all these relationships is you, the firefighters. With the reputation you've built and the trust that's instilled by the general public, we have a brand that holds weight when we address our issues. The public approval ratings, the relationships, the partnerships, all have led to success. Success with issues like presumptive cardiac, where we pass legislation to where we have workers' comp coverage from the cardiac disease that we contract from our job. We've brought PTSD to the forefront, as we heard earlier, making a new culture for the fire service to know it's okay to get help. And with our partners in the law enforcement, our brothers and sisters, we passed legislation like the Craig Tiger Act, where firefighters have the ability to get the help they need from the mental trauma they get from the job. And lastly, one of our most important, presumptive cancer coverage, where our firefighters, they're contracting cancer from all the carcinogens, all the toxic chemicals that they encounter while they're suppressing fires, all the way down to the safety equipment we wear. We've identified the cancers, and now they're covered under workman's comp when they contract these cancers. To even further this, we went back the next legislative session, and we enhanced that wording to say presumptive means it's presumed, and it puts the burden on workman's comp to prove the cancer was not outside of work. Now, none of this would have been possible without you and the exceptional work you do every day building our firefighter brand. And as I circle back to the significance of you being here, advancing your knowledge and skills, taking this home, sharing it with your fellow firefighters, and striving to better serve your communities, it gives us the ability to continue addressing our issues. Now, we're the strongest when we're united as a fire family, and we take on these issues together. And I take you to our latest fight, and this is going to be our fire district funding. If I can get the first slide, please. No clicker up here. We have a statewide problem. And at being firefighters, we're really good at identifying firefight problems. Better yet, as we sit around the kitchen table, we're very good at coming up with solutions. So being a firefighter, we found a problem and we found an easy solution. Now, this is a statewide problem. It is affecting everybody in this state. Next slide, please. How did we get to this crisis for our fire districts? Well, we had many limitations in the past, but the kicker was the Great Recession and the housing market downturn in 2008, where our fire districts lost 50 to 60% of their revenue source. And to top off this loss, we had legislation that came along in the early teen years where it made it impossible for our fire districts to ever recover. Our fire districts to this day are still operating in pre-recession funding levels. Next slide, please. We can look at these examples. We've got fire districts in this state that are operating at less or nearly the same budget as over a decade ago. And we all know the call volume, the workload that we have as firefighters that is just immensely increased, almost doubled in some of these circumstances. Now, when you put this together and you cut 50% of a budget, you add workload, there's no way around it. This hurts. This hurts our fire service throughout the state. Next slide, please. We can see the results. Reduction in force, 23%, 20%, 19%, 15%. These are dramatic cuts in service for our communities, for our state. What does this equal to? Next slide. We can see this is devastating results. 30-minute response times, a weakened response for our wildfire programs, our highway systems, all of the travelers in Arizona and visitors to Arizona traveling our interstates and our highways that are dependent on fire district coverage in case of an emergency. Next slide. So we look at this as every visitor. This is everybody in this room. We saw how many hands here that work for a fire district that's directly affected. Think about all the partners we have in this room that run auto aid and mutual aid with these fire districts. Think about all of the 1.5 million residents that live within these fire districts. Think about all the travelers we have throughout the state of Arizona that are relying on this emergency services. Final slide. So with this, our easy solution, come up with an alternative revenue source for our fire districts. We've been relying on property taxes for over 100 years as fire districts, and having a sole income source that we depend on is broken at this point. This is a simple solution, and it's very painless for our entire state. We look at this, it's pennies to provide public safety for our entire state. A penny for every $10 you spend on lunch goes directly to fire districts and their funding to be able to provide safety for our state. Now, we look at this and we say, how can we help? Well, one way, follow us on Facebook. We've got Vote Yes on 310. Share this with your circle, share it with your friends, and get the word out that the importance of this, how this affects all of fire service, affects our entire state, and safety is on the line everywhere we go outside of our municipal fire departments. Put signs up in your yard. We have signs here with us. If you want to take some of these home with you to put up in your yard, put up in your neighbor's yard, spread the word on 310.com. This vote is coming up on November 8th. Early ballots will be out about October 12th. So let's band together as our fire family, come together and get this passed. Provide the needed resources for our fire districts, and once again, have some successful production from our fire. So as I close, I just want to say thank you for being here. Enjoy this time. Get the knowledge. Go home. Serve your communities well. And vote yes on 310.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to take just a few minutes. We've been working on restoration at the Arizona Hall of Fame. How many of you have ever been to the Arizona Hall of Fame or Hall of Flame? That is not very many of you. So tonight, you're going to get the opportunity from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And the good news is they're going to have lots of food for you, lots of stuff to drink. And with the renovation that we did, we actually did, every year we hand out or present to some really, really good people in the fire service that have excelled in what they do. So we have handed out the plaque for the Hall of Fame and nominated them and presented them as members of the Hall of Fame. With that, the wall that was on there was designed quite a few years ago. And in looking at that, the committee determined that it was time that we would do an upgrade on what that wall looked like. And so this is some of the work that was done in there. A lot of volunteers spent time, did some creative work to make it look like it does today. Let's go to the next slide. The other good news is that as we had quite a few chief officers, retirees, members of the committee, and we did not have one lost time injury accident out of that. That's quite remarkable at the age of some of them. So the wall on the right there in the blue, that's the wall that used to be, and quite simply, we ran out of room. Go to the next slide. And that's what it looks like today. As you can see, a vast improvement to recognize the honorees that have been included in that Hall of Fame. Next slide. This one is the opportunity you have tonight. We would truly like to welcome you, take your family, and see the world's largest fire museum and what it's all about. Okay, moving on in the agenda today, we're going to turn some time over to our retired fire chief, Randy Redmond. He's going to introduce you to the Arizona Fire Foundation and the Arizona Firefighter Foundation and what that means for each one of you.
Well, wow. Is anybody here that put these lights in? Need some SPF 50 for my forehead. You can't see anything up here. All right, I have a first request of everybody. Who was ever in room 712 tonight after 9 o'clock, could you shut the hell up for me? Because you didn't go to bed till about 1:30 last night. I'm a little irritated and I didn't get much sleep. Welcome, everybody. Earlier, everybody raised their hand on first-timers. Anybody first-timers put your hands up? Do all of you know about the foundation? Anybody here not know about the foundation? Please go online, take a look. If your organization qualifies, you can go on the Arizona Center for Fire Service Excellence, link from there, link from State Fire School. And when you bring it up, apply for a scholarship if you still need it this year. I'll tell you right now, Ed said we had 734 attendees. We have a little over 50% of those here on scholarships. So. What I'm going to do this year, I'm going to talk a little bit about the decade. This year, that's the whole summer you're going to get for this year. Everything went fine. We're going to recognize our donors, but I want to talk about what's happened. If you can believe it, the foundation's been in place for 10 years now. Here's our foundation update. This marks the end of our first decade. Hard to believe when you look back at 2012, when we were just coming off of the difficulties in the state budget and we were just rebuilding and coming back. And the committee decided that we needed to take a look at a different way to run our foundation and how we were going to produce scholarships and money to support people to be here. The first year in 2012, we funded 22 firefighters. Since the inception, since 2012, things have happened a little bit quickly and things have moved well, and the foundation has spent over $800,000 sending firefighters to fire school. That equates to over 3,000 firefighters. Many have been here multiple times, many first time, and hopefully they'll be back for more. We did a lot of outreach the year that COVID was in place, where we were able to send money out to rural areas to help out with training. We were very honored to be able to do that. And one of the wonderful things during that year is that all of our donors, when I went to them and explained it's going to be very difficult to give them statistics on how many we trained in what areas because we're just trying to help everywhere, every one of them said, don't worry about it, we trust you, keep doing what you're doing. So thank you. This is all happening because of our donors. Believe me, Clay has a lot of money, but he doesn't give it all to us, so we're going to go ahead and talk about the people who help us. In the state legislature, there's Senator David Gowan and Representative Gail Griffin, who both sit at the state level. And any time that public safety has a problem or needs something, I go and talk with them, and they always come around and help. And they both couldn't make it this morning because there's stuff going on down the hill. So I just want to tell you that if you ever see them out and about, or if you're at a facility where they're at, please step up and say thank you. They're good people, very approachable, and have done a lot for us. Thank you to them. Our donors that we have here today, and Clay, if you could come up, I'm going to step down because I don't think I need a mic. Can you guys still hear me? I'm hoping there's no light down there. Can't hear me? All right, the first one, we're going to talk about the Ethel and Kemper and Ethel Marley Foundation. They've been with us since the start. They started with us in 2013 and have been funding us and helping us with us since the start. And Kate, a new employee for the foundation, for their foundation, is here with us this morning. And this is her first time here. We're excited to have her, but more than anything, we just want to say thank you for being next to us and with us the entire way. Thank you very much. Next we have APS. Tara, would you want to come up yourself or you want everybody to come up? It's up to you. Tara's here. Scott's with us tonight. Oh, they just said Tara.
Said no.
Good job, guys. See you, Tara.
Go for it.
Tara's been a representative for a number of years, and again, APS has been with us since the start as well, and they are a true partner for us, so thank you for that. Nobody can hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay, next thing, who cares if you can hear me? That's fine. All right, pioneer title, Tom Davis. And Tom brought his son-in-law today with him. Ryan is a captain in Sun City, and he was able to attend today. Welcome. Come on up, Tom. This is a tough one because Pioneer Title is a statewide agency that's got 70-something offices. 94, I haven't talked to them in a year. 94 offices, but it's based out of Sierra Vista, and the owner of the company is a very, very good friend of mine. So the first thing I asked for when I went to talk to him is, can I talk to somebody else? And he gave me the talk, and Tom's been a great partner, very, very generous, and has taken care of us. So Tom, thank you very much. Thank you, Randy. Old man right here. You're right, you can't see. Oops. And last Arizona Burn Foundation came aboard 3 years ago, and they've been steadfast with us. We have with us today Kristen Bridges, who is their representative. Kristen, thank you very much. And I just want to introduce our representative, and believe it or not, for 2 years, the Arizona Community Foundation basically houses our foundation. And our representatives from the Arizona Community Foundation are here with us. Can you guys stand? When we have problems, when we need people take care of us. So we thank you very much for your time and hard work with us.
Thank you, Randy.
Let's talk about license plates. This is an important part of our funding. I'm holding this up here because I've got to see how many people here are here on scholarship. Put your hand up. How many people here have a license plate? Keep your hand up, because this is when the smacking in the mouth happens right now. How many, with your hand up, has a license plate? Put your hand up if you have a license plate. Oh, that's really pitiful. Those of you that have both hands up, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. $25 a year for a license plate, $17 a year comes back to the foundation. This past year, it raised $27,000 for us. We have almost 16,000 plates out there now. Please, put a plate on your car. It all adds up, and we use every single dollar from the foundation goes to scholarships. We still have 100% of the overhead taken care of. Everything goes to scholarships. So please, get a plate. There's some plates right there. There's 4 of them in the garage on the left, and there's an old one there that you recognize the plate. Get one on yours. Please visit servicearizona.com, sign up today. The plates raised over $125,000 for us, and we've only had it in place for 5 years. I want to thank everybody that's here for coming, for participating. Please be safe, enjoy yourself. More than anything, go to the raffle. Anybody go on the raffle? Chance to win $25,000 this year if you can putt. 3 putts, 25 grand. We'll see you there. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to go into our awards presentation right now. The awards that are offered here at Fire School, I think are pretty precious in the sense that every one of these are peer-based. We're going to recognize this year some 30-year instructors that we've had, which is pretty phenomenal to have instructors here for 30 years. In addition to that, we were going to recognize the Arizona Fire Mechanics Association, the Public Educator Association, and the Hall of Fame inductees.
Retired Scottsdale Fire Captain Tim Cooper is recognized by the Arizona State Fire Training Committee for over 30 years of commitment as an instructor at the Arizona State Fire School. Captain Cooper's passion is technical rescue and rope rescue. He has inspired generations of firefighters and will leave his legacy for all of us to benefit from. Please join us in extending our gratitude to Captain Cooper for his dedication to the Arizona State Fire School.
Hang on, we got to get a photo.
Retired Phoenix Fire Battalion Chief Wes Traynor has been an instructor with the Arizona State Fire School for over 3 decades. He has been an instructor in almost every discipline within the fire service and is a longtime instructor for fire apparatus, driver operator, and hydraulics. Please join the Arizona State Fire Training Committee in extending our gratitude to Chief Traynor for his commitment to training for over 30 years. Formed in 1975, the Arizona Fire Service Mechanics Association is committed to safety through education and networking. The association is committed to simpler, safer, and easier to operate fire apparatus. Each year, the association honors a member for their outstanding contributions.
Or I'm with the Arizona Fire Mechanics Association. We all know how complex trucks have gotten over the years, all the computers and all the electronics that are involved with them. The job of a fire mechanic is not strictly mechanics anymore. It's an emergency vehicle technician now. You have to be conversant with computers, full electronics, in addition to do mechanical repair. You have to be a master fabricator. There's so many aspects that people don't think about. Emergency vehicles are high liability, hard use, and necessary vehicles. These mechanics that are part of the association are the guys that keep your trucks running so that you can get to the calls safely, take care of your citizens, and get home safely. Part of our expertise is taking certification tests and training, ongoing training year-round. The Emergency Vehicle Technician Certification Commission is the organization that's nationally in charge of certifying emergency vehicle technicians. They offer 3 areas to be certified in: fire apparatus, ambulance, and airport rescue and firefighting trucks. Each one of these certifications has different levels. To attain a master certification in any one of those areas takes about 6 to 8 tests through the EVTCC, plus corresponding ASE certification exams. It's my honor and pleasure to present to Phil Cantua our Mechanic of the Year award. He is a triple master. There is 32 triple masters in the world, and Arizona has 5 of them. So I want you guys to think about that. Our guys are top notch. And Phil is one of the good ones. He loves aerials, which nobody likes to work on ladder trucks, but Phil is the guy. So again, it's my honor and pleasure to honor him. You want to say anything?
I'd like to start by saying thank you to the Arizona Fire Service Mechanics Association and all of its many members, many of whom are much more deserving of this award than I. Thank you for the recognition. Thank you for this honorable and humbling experience. To all the men and women of Golden Ranch Fire District, I say thank you for the memories, the friendships, and to the Fleet Department, especially, thank you for coming and supporting me today. It means a whole lot. To my wife, Diane, my granddaughter, Elena, Haley, and Maisie, all the grandkids and family, thank you for your love and support and understanding the importance of what I do. To Anthony Newman from Tucson Fire, Bill Shell, who has since retired from United Fire, Bill and Gail Pisani, Bill from Tucson Fire, himself a former recipient of this award. I say thank you for your support, your mentoring, your guidance, and a special thank you to Bill and Gail, whose kind words put me up here today. I'd like to thank my brother Frank. At the start of my career, I knew I needed to learn a lot more. And through my brother, he learned about a college program that was sponsored by General Motors. And at his urging, I enrolled in the program, completed it successfully. And at that point, my career took off in earnest. Little did I know that 35 years later, I would be standing up here accepting this award. For that, I thank you, brother. Next, I would like to thank Jesse and Kathy Montano. Through their help, I was able to change the course of my career path. And by doing so, I was able to learn, gain the knowledge, gain the experience, and gauge the confidence to do what I do now. And for that, I'm forever grateful. And spending time with you not only helped me in my career, but it helped me in my home life. And for that, I say thank you for for helping me become the person that I am today. Thank you very much.
The Arizona Fire and Burn Educators Association was formed in 1987 to establish educational resources and standardized training and certification for public educators. Each year, the Arizona Fire and Burn Educators Association recognizes the Fire and Life Safety Educator of the Year. Northwest Fire District's Amy Allen and Veronica Rubio are this year's Co-Educators of the Year. Amy and Veronica are recognized for their commitment to protecting their community in creative ways, despite the challenges posed by the impacts of the pandemic. Their community risk reduction efforts have resulted in significant improvements to their department's fire protection rating from ISO. Please congratulate Amy Allen and Veronica Rubio, this year's Fire and Life Safety Educators of the Year. The highest honor from the Arizona State Fire Training Committee is induction into the Arizona Fire Service Hall of Fame. Established in 1998, the Hall of Fame recognizes individuals who have made significant positive contributions that bring credit to the fire service. Individuals nominated are evaluated based on their years of service, committee contributions, state or national impact, educational impact, operational impact, contributions to the community, legislative impact, or other areas that clearly demonstrate the individual's significant contribution to the Arizona Fire Service. This year's inductees will join previous honorees on display at the Hall of Fame Fire Museum of Firefighting in Phoenix. Retired Fire Chief Harry Beck served the Arizona Fire Service for 43 years, retiring as the Fire Chief of the City of Mesa, Arizona in 2016. He's recognized for his innovation in emergency medical services, as well as his contributions to professional development of fire officers in the state of Arizona. Chief Beck was instrumental in supporting the dispatch and deployment of the first statewide mutual aid system. Congratulations, Chief Beck.
Thank you. This is an incredible honor. A certain amount of, we were talking earlier, a certain amount of achievement comes with just being around a while. If you keep showing up every day, things just seem to keep moving. So when you've done this as many years as I have, and it's an extension of my family, I'm I'm still very humble and honored to receive this award, but it's just become it just becomes a part of your life. And of all the things that have been mentioned today, I think one of the things that I think about as I receive this reward is the fact that I opened my heart and I was allowed the fire service to become a part of my life and a part of my family. And I think that when all is said and done, I think when we look back, or even as you're in your seat today, that is the real strength of who we are. So with that, again, thank you very much. And quickly, I want to recognize the mentors, Chief Compton in particular, who have supported me through my entire career, and of course my beautiful wife, Becky, who, as the lady was saying earlier, used to watch me go out and stand out under the trees when I'd first come home from work for about 45 minutes just to decompress, wondering if I was going to lose my mind or not. But it turns out it was a smart thing to do. So anyway, thanks again and have a great school.
Fire Chief Randy Carr has served the Arizona Fire Service for over 41 years. He currently serves as the Fire Chief of the Golden Ranch Fire District. The longtime chair of the Arizona Fire Service Institute, Chief Carr is recognized for his significant contributions to state and regional collaboration, as well as his commitment to fire service training. Congratulations, Chief Carr.
Well, to say I'm humbled is, I just don't have many words to say, which my staff will tell you that never happens, because I do have the gift of gab. But I have three things I want to say: God, family, and service. And that's what the fire service is all about. And that's been my passion. Like I said, Harry said it, I'm so humbled by this, to be on that wall with other leaders, mentors of mine, Chief Compton, Chief Brunacini, Chief Pichura, the list goes on, Chief Gaylord, the training staff that we work with. I mean, these people are my family. And the service to the great organization of Golden Ranch Fire District, many of which who are here today, I have no words but to say thank you for allowing me to serve. But most importantly, to my wife of 36 years. Without her, I am nothing. Thank you all for this. Let's have a wonderful school, and may God bless us all as we work through these challenging times in the years to come. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to take a minute and turn some time over to Daniel Matlock with United Fire to present the United Firefighter of the Year.
Fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. It's a natural human emotion, an essential physiological response. Every fire service professional has a story to tell about it, and they still instinctively rise up to face it with each shift. It requires strength of mind and body for a person to encounter danger or replace fear and adversity with courage. This is what fortitude means, and that's what it takes to be a firefighter. It doesn't come easily or to everyone, but when you are the one, it's a passion that lasts a lifetime. So think for just a moment. What challenge will you rise to? And what will be your story? Here in Centennial Hall, we have shared lots of memories. Personally speaking, I treasure seeing friends, associates, and fire school committee members who I know keep rising to the challenge. They have for a very long time. These civic-minded individuals continue to exhibit a strong sense of will, purpose, and leadership. You set the bar higher each year. I recognize your fortitude. We must pass your stories on to the next generation. I also have great admiration for all the anxious first-time fire school attendees here today. I have passed most of the classes, and if you won't tell anyone, I'll share a secret. The correct test answer usually requires the word courage. Our communities are fortunate that even in the face of risk and vulnerability, firefighters like you have conscientiously chosen to rise up and learn how to safely help others survive harrowing conditions. Fear can't be prevented, but it can be controlled if you follow 3 simple rules. First, you must have adequate training and experience. Next, practice frequently and methodically maintain your PPE and tools. Lastly, learn to trust the system and your fellow firefighters. I'm not claiming that you'll never experience some fear when shocked at first sight. However, training takes over. Compassion settles in. The response becomes different and much safer than for those who are not prepared. But staffing to have enough trained firefighters happens to be one of the biggest challenges today for public safety leaders all across our great nation. We are failing to attract enough future first responders, let alone contending with present-day vacancies. The fire service has been impacted by volunteer and career labor shortages, just like our military and most other businesses. It's a serious and growing issue. Fear of responsibilities, injury, ill health, and perhaps even mortality makes firefighter recruitment and retention far more difficult than ever before. This being said, I think those of you here would agree, when you are the one, overcoming these challenges are what make being a firefighter and all that goes with it so darn satisfying. I'm excited to share with you, United Fire has sponsored every career and volunteer fire department in Arizona, so they will have a free membership for the Firefighter Diversity Recruitment Council. Our intention with this partnership is not to simply help hire individual firefighters, but rather develop a diverse and lasting pipeline of new applicants who I'm confident will be attracted to this career path, especially if they can be inspired by your amazing life stories. I began my career at United Fire just 45 short years ago. I have hundreds of stories. I remember when firefighting was exclusive to men. The saying, a good old boys club, well, it was quite literal. Thankfully, people have figured out that it is not gender, race, creed, or color that determines if someone will make a good firefighter or medic. We are all engaged together in our human enterprise. What qualifies someone for fire service duties can't be judged by appearance. They are determined by the character found within, starting with an innate desire to help others. I want to encourage all of you not to just watch, share your stories, and participate in the journey and adventure to help recruit new firefighters. One of the ways we communicate the critical nature and success of the Arizona Fire Service is through our annual Firefighter of the Year Award. Over the past 29 years, United Fire and our amazing partners have recognized men and women whose actions demonstrate the importance of what you all do every day for public safety. Picking an annual award recipient is no simple task. Each year, United Fire engages the assistance of fire service leaders from around the state to help. I would like to acknowledge these devoted individuals for their time and assistance. John Whitney, Brad Batassi, Joe Moore, Mike Atkinson, and Daryl Dash. And now, I'm pleased to announce that the 2022 United Firefighter of the Year is Tyler Kowalski with the Buckskin Fire District. The Buckskin Fire District is located in Parker, Arizona, a gateway to the Lake Havasu region and the Colorado River. Residents and visitors enjoy the diversity of water activities such as jet skiing, water skiing, and boating. They come to the area for celebrations and to get away from stress, but it doesn't always turn out that way. This story reveals some people were very lucky on a recent faithful summer evening because firefighter and rescue diver Tyler Kowalski was on duty. It was 8:30 at night when Buckskin Fire was dispatched to a 911 call involving a watercraft accident near Emerald Cove Resort, resulting in a juvenile being trapped under a boat. Kowalski donned his diving gear en route, while Captain Chris Chambers operated the rescue boat. They arrived at a chaotic scene with about 15 people screaming in panic while splashing around in the water on top of large rocks. The frantic crowd considered trying to roll over the upside-down V-bottom boat themselves, but that could have made a bad situation even worse. The people involved in the crash reported a young girl was trapped. They could hear her near the bow, banging on the hull bottom and screaming for help. After only about 30 seconds, Kowalski descended into the dark water. Once below the surface, he followed the starboard rail towards the cockpit where passengers normally access the bow. But the way the boat was crushed and positioned on the rocks, Tyler determined there wasn't any way in or out. Kowalski returned to the surface to update his captain on the situation and then dove right back down. He knew time was of the essence to save a life. Tyler continued his search on the port side of the vessel. He found a closed hatch near the bow, but suspected if he opened it, it could let water into the bow, which was the only place the victim had some air left to breathe. Kowalski continued down and found another hatch, and this one was open. He attempted to enter, but could not fit past his shoulders. Still, he didn't panic. Tyler used his instinct and training to conduct a mostly blind search with his right hand and light. The young girl had to be in there. And just then, he saw toes, then a foot. He quickly stretched out and grabbed her ankle, and in one strong motion, pulled her through the 16 by 16-inch hatch and quickly kicked them both to the surface. Thankfully, the patient was conscious and talking, but did complain about hip and back pain. Firefighter Kowalski and bystanders loaded her and helped 6 other patients involved in the accident onto the fireboat. Once ashore, Buckskin Fire and AMR ambulance crews treated all the patients, and the once potentially drowned victim was airlifted to the hospital. Kowalski's training helped him stay calm under pressure. He exhibited exceptional dive rescue skills, and through a heroic effort, achieved an incredibly positive outcome in saving a life, and is well-deserved of this year's award as the 2022 United Fire Firefighter of the Year. Tyler, I learned that in addition to being a rescue diver, you are also an engine boss. That's like surf and turf, you know. You had just gotten home from a wildland assignment a few days ago when you found out about being the Firefighter of the Year and were asked to be here today to accept the award. You must be emotionally exhausted. Well, just like people that go to park and relax, we hope that your prizes will help you celebrate this honor in style and provide you with some time to relax and reflect on your story. United Fire and our wonderful co-sponsors won't be providing training, but we can assist with your uniforms, PPE, and help you experience a healthy state of mind. It all begins with some exciting activities away from work this time. AMPCUS has donated a corporate suite and parking pass package for the sold-out NASCAR Cup Series championship race in November at Phoenix Raceway. Plus, there are Grand Canyon Railway tickets, a getaway at the Hilton Phoenix Resort at the Peak, and an additional escape to the Jim Clip team condo located in the White Mountains. At home, you will be protected with an Ansel high-performance chrome-plated fire extinguisher. You'll certainly make good use of a Fry's Food gift card and a gift certificate from Sam Levitt's Furniture. Then get out onto the greens with your VFIS First Responder golf bag and Arizona Cardinals autographed football. In the station house, our sponsors want you to not only look good, but be comfortable in your new blower and First Tactical station wear. And Proper and Hakes will literally cover your wildland fire needs. For your next land-based technical rescue, you can suit up in your Fire Deck's dual cert fatigues. And to obtain the best protection when attacking structure fires, Streamlight will light your way while you wear custom-made Lion Red Zone particulate barrier turnouts. And your ensemble wouldn't be complete unless we topped you off with a Carnes helmet. This, my friend, should provide you with head-to-toe confidence. The Buckskin Fire District will also benefit by a $500 United Fire gift certificate. And finally, a big expression of financial gratitude from the sponsors with this check for $1,000. Congratulations, Firefighter Kowalski.
First off, I would like to start out by thanking the Matlick family and United Fire and all the sponsors for all the sweet gear and prizes. I'm truly honored and humbled to receive such a distinguishing award. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to attend the State Fire School several times over my career to further my education and training. It is the training that gives us the skills to do our job with successful outcomes during high-risk calls. I would also like to thank Captain Chambers, Captain Weatherford, Chief McMahon, and Guy Nelson of the Buckskin Fire Department for giving me the opportunity to instruct and help with the dive rescue class over the last 6 years. Without me doing that and obtaining real-life skills and being put in real-life situations, I don't think there would have been a successful outcome that night. It's the training that I needed and the confidence and skills that made it a good outcome. Thank you again. This is truly a great moment for the Buckskin Fire Department and the citizens and visitors we serve on the Parker Strip.
Happiness is not about the reward or finishing the journey. It is about building a story you can enjoy and take pride in sharing. If you can enjoy your journey, you can enjoy your life. Thank you, Tyler, and all of you for your passion and commitment to public safety and for helping to usher in the next generation for a journey of a lifetime. Take full advantage of your classes this week and be grateful for the new relationships you will develop. They are bound to contribute to your own story of fire and fortitude.
How about one more time, round of applause for all the award winners tonight. I have a couple of last-minute announcements that need to get mentioned today. The new Chiefs luncheon is going to begin today at noon. This will be in the Starlight Room. Class also, this is good news, will begin at 1:30 today at all locations. The Hall of Flame tonight, that is free, so no cost for you to get in. Tomorrow night is the family night from 6 to 8 p.m. This is where there'll be a lot of fun things out here underneath the canopy. We'd encourage you to bring your family, just kind of hang out and chill for a little bit. Saturday night from 6 to 8-ish is the raffle. Has anybody not been to the raffle before? Oh, you guys are in for an experience. So we'll be selling t-shirts, raffle tickets. We encourage you to buy lots of raffle tickets. You want to win that opportunity to win the putting contest. Just a couple of simple reminders there. We're asking not to bring children or kids under the age of 16. Also, you can't bring your own food, nor can you bring your own alcohol. No, one more thing, don't bring any, waters in your tumbler or anything like that. Somehow those always end up getting thrown. So please don't bring that stuff in. We also are really grateful for so many people that help us put Fire School on every year. The Valley agencies down here, the training facilities, Mesa is so kind to us, Tempe, Scottsdale, Gilbert, Phoenix, and also Cintas, where all these off-site locations, if it wasn't for the off-site, we wouldn't be able to do the skills test that we're doing at those locations. The number of instructors that are involved in this, you think of the amount of students that we have and the amount of instructors that takes, so thank you so much for the time and commitment that you put in. We also appreciate the hotels that are helping with this. If you have any challenges that you're working through the front desk, they're very kind, they're willing to help you. We just ask you if you have any challenges anywhere. Everybody's still working through COVID, everybody's short-staffed all the way around. We'd ask you to be nice when you're out in the field. Remember, you represent the Arizona Fire Service, you represent your agency at home, and when it comes to your night out, if you need an Uber, that's much cheaper because Mesa PD doesn't have a lot of sense of humor for an intoxicated firefighter. With that, We would ask you to hydrate, enjoy the warm weather down here. If you're from the White Mountains, it's a significant difference here than it is up there. And that's all we have. Thank you very much for being here.